Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and we are talking about the newly limited Thunder Dragons. Once again, they have limited but one of my favorite decks, Thunder Dragons. As you can see, we can only run the one Levianeer and only two Thunder Dragon Dark. Do I think this was necessary? Kind of. But not entirely. I think Levianeer definitely is an issue, but I would have liked to have seen it maybe limited to two instead, so you could basically play either Levianeer or things like Charge of the Light Brigade. But I think all in all, it doesn't really matter too much. Thunder Dragons are still great because basically the entire power level of the game just kind of dropped. The whole meta just got weaker in general. I think Melodious is only really good against a few decks anyway, and those decks got nerfed in power, so it kind of doesn't matter. Harpies are still the best deck, Thunder Dragons are still playable, and yeah, let's quickly do the card by card. First of all, we have Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon as well as Levianeer. Both of them are basically search targets for the Melody of Awakening Dragon, as well as they're just ways to pop cards and kind of go for OTKs, stick big bodies on the field, stuff like that. This card only requires one Tribute Summon, which oftentimes you will have that normal summon ready. The only normal summon you're oftentimes using is your Raiden or your Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon. Or, if you want to, you can also play something like Trishula in the extra deck, like I have here, as well as Batteryman Solar. If you don't play Batteryman Solar, you could take out the Trishula, just put in any other XZ or Synchro that you so choose. But I think Trishula is very nice to unclog the field. On top of that, we have... well, let's just quickly do the rest of these. We have Thunder Dragon Hawk, which is a special summon, basically, from the grave or banish pile. We have Dark, which adds another Dark by discarding it. Or you can add a Thunder Dragon card if it is banished or sent from the field to the grave. Really nice. Thunder Dragon Roar allows you to special summon when it is banished or sent from the field. Or you can discard it to add a Thunder Dragon that is banished or in the graveyard. Really nice. The classic Thunder Dragon, discard to add a Thunder Dragon, up to 2 Thunder Dragons. Really nice. Then we have, obviously, Duo, the big boss monster. 2800, you banish a light and a dark in order to summon it. And it has some niche effects, but mostly it's just the fact that it's a 2800 easy to summon beater. So there you go. Then we are playing the skill Fiend Farewell, which basically when a monster is destroyed by battle, you can summon out Chaos, or you can send Chaos Betrayer to the graveyard. This is why we are also not playing things like Sphere Karibo, because it is also a Fiend, and we only want the one Fiend to send to the graveyard in Chaos Betrayer. What does this card do? Well, you can banish a light and a dark in order to special summon it, which is really nice to get your effects going. You could banish something like a Hawk to recycle your hand, draw better cards, or you could banish something like a Dark in order to search a card. But when it is special summoned, you can banish a card your opponent controls from the graveyard. Also, it's a level 6, which allows you to XZ summon into some powerful rank 6s, as well as it is a Dark, meaning it allows you to utilize things like Thunder Dragon Duo and Levianeer pretty effectively. And then, of course, we are playing the Light Sworn engine with Charge of the Light Brigade in order to mill more cards, and in order to give us access to Vermilion Dragon Mech, a really solid, just pop one card. It's really nice. It's 2700 attack. It's super solid. The other notable thing that I want to mention is that I play our Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon. I don't know how to say that name, I'm sorry. Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon, just at the one copy, and I don't think we really need any other rank 5. But the reason I do this is because it targets any one face-up card your opponent controls and destroys it, meaning if there's something like a Necro Valley or something along those lines, you could pop that with this card. Just summon out something, you know, from your banish pile or from or that you already have. You're able to go into this rank 5 and pop it. It's very nice. The other rank 5s don't do that, so it's just nice to have. Anyway, let's move on to the replays. Alright guys, so here we are up against my Valentine, and we get to go first, and it's a rank up duel on top of that. So here we are up against Harpy's Hunting Ground, which most likely entails that it is one of two things. It is either Triamids or Harpies. But it doesn't really matter because we are going to end up with a charge of the Light Brigade. We're going to mill a bunch of cards, and we're going to add the Raiden, mill a bunch more cards. Then we are going to Hawk, bring back the Dark, and then just sit on this. The reason I sit on this and instead of synchro summoning into something like the Vermilion Dragon Mech is because there's no real reason to do that. If this card ends up getting destroyed or just any way removed from the field other than returned to the hand, we're pretty good because that's going to allow us to get a search. We also have our Thunder Dragon Duo and a Trifortress Ops, which means that we have a pretty good follow-up on the following turn. So I'm just going to synchro off here. It doesn't matter what I draw. We're going to go into this Vermilion Dragon Mech, and we are going to activate the Thunder Dragon Dark. We are going to immediately get Raigeki Braked, which means our card is just going to go to the graveyard. Nothing really comes of it too much. However, it doesn't end up mattering because we are going to banish 2 in order to summon out our Duo. Roar is then going to activate to summon out the Roar, and then we are going to go for a 6. We are going to go for the Ptolemy after utilizing the effect of Thunder Dragon Hawk in order to special summon another level 6 to go for the rank 6 anyway. Doesn't matter, we get Drowning Mirror Forced. Everything is back to the hand, or back to the deck, and we just set the Thunder Dragon's Dragon Thunders, and then we have to end on that. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We are going to summon up 2 Thunder Dragon Roars. Now, the reason I did this the way that I did is because I wanted my opponent to actually attack into my Thunder Dragon Roars in order for me to summon out another Thunder Dragon monster, right? So, the reason for this is because there is a restriction on 100 Thunders. Sure, you can special summon as many monsters with the same name from the graveyard. However, while they are face up on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except Thunder-type monsters. Meaning I can't XZ summon, I can't Synchro summon, I can't do anything other than just special summon other Thunder-type monsters. So I want to get these off of the field as quickly and easily as possible. So I had 3 Hawk in the grave, but I decided to instead go for the Roars and allow them to quickly punch over them. It doesn't end up mattering because we are just going to add back this Thunder Dragon to our hand. We are then going to activate the Thunder Dragon to add another Thunder Dragon. Now, we already have one of our Thunder Dragons banished, so we weren't able to add the second one or, you know, send the second one. Doesn't really end up mattering. We're going to Fiend Farewell. We are going to also recycle our hand after summoning out the Dragon Duo. We are then going to Tribute Summon over this this Roar in order to go into another level 5 to go for our Mates, or sorry, Adrius, in order to get that rank 5, basically, and pop their card. Then we are going to go for Chaos Betrayer. We're going to banish their Harpy, and then just attack in for lethal there. Pretty exciting stuff. Drowning Mirror Force still played through it. Alright, and here we are up against Say Fudo. We get to go first once again. And we will see how this goes. So our starting hand isn't the greatest, especially going first. We're just going to activate Raiden, summon it, and then activate our Dark, and then activate Raiden. The reason I do this is because it allows us to get better mills, basically. We're guaranteed to have that Dark in our hand and in the grave, at the very least. And so this just allows me to mill better cards. And as you can see, it was useful because now we are able to mill a Hawk. We're going to add back the Hawk. We're going to activate the Hawk, and we're going to summon out the Dark once again. Milling, this time, the Levianeer. Kind of sad. Doesn't really end up mattering. They are going to go for a Shien's Dojo and summon out a bunch of 6 Samurais. They're going to end on Shien, pass, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they go tie the binds, they're going to punch into our monsters, and we are going to get the search for our Dragon Duo. Ultimately, it doesn't end up mattering all that much what they have on the field because we are Thunder Dragons. We don't care about spell and trap effects nearly as much. We're going to banish 2 in order to go for the Thunder Dragon Duo. We're going to get our search. We are going to then activate our Hawk in order to special summon out this Roar. We are going to banish a couple more cards to summon out the Betrayer. The reason I do this is because I need another rank 6 or level 6, and 2, and more importantly, I wanted to banish one of these Fumas so that they couldn't protect one of their monsters if it ended up being destroyed by card effect. It doesn't end up mattering all that much, but we're just going to spin back the Shien and then attack in for lethal here after normal summoning the Raiden. So there you go. Double Shien, doesn't matter. And here we are up against Silvio. Wait. I believe this is an OTK really quick. Nope, it's Dynamist. Just kidding. It's an OTK from no one. I remember this duel now. I thought this was a different Silvio. Anyway, he summons out his Dynamist Rex and then just passes. We're going to Raiden, normal summon, pitch a bunch of cards, and once again, for the third time in a row, we are going to go for Thunder Dragon Dark and Raiden into Vermilion. Now this is actually pretty good. We're going to target one of his Pendulum cards because basically, as long as he doesn't have pendulums, I'm pretty sure this is Dynamist Rush, which just special summons a monster. But as long as he doesn't have pendulums, we're actually pretty good. Those are the things that end up protecting. So I want to get rid of those as quickly as possible. Now, I make a little bit of a mistake here. What I should have done is I should have gone to Thunder Dragon into Thunder Dragon and then pitched the Thunder Dragon for the Melody of the Awakening Dragon instead of pitching this Temperance. But I didn't end up doing that, and I am a fool for it. So we are going to banish 2 in order to summon out our Thunder Dragon duo, and then we are going to add the second Thunder Dragon. He's going to go for Mist here, and we are just going to attack in. Stegosaur pops our Vermilion Dragon Mech. Vermilion Dragon Mech is going to add back the card, and then we are going to Dragon Duo, and here's where he makes a massive mistake. Instead of protecting the monster with his Spinos, which he can do if another Dynamist card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. He decides not to do that, allowing us to get our search for the Dragon Duo, which is incredibly nice. Now we have a Hawk in our hand, which really opens up a lot of our plays. Now, they immediately draw into their high scale, which means that they are able to go for a Pendulum summon out their monster, and protect it. However, it doesn't really matter because we are going to stack the Levianeer that we had banished off of something in order to put it on the top of our deck and have it for this turn. We're gonna banish 3. I guess what we're doing. Yep, that's your darn tootin'. We're gonna pop up a whole bunch of cards. We're gonna search a bunch of cards and put a bunch of cards back. Doesn't really end up mattering, but we're going to do that. We're gonna add a whole bunch of cards back to our hand. We're gonna pop their 2 Pendulum cards. We're going to go for the Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon. We're gonna pop their card, deal 1200. We're going to go for Roar, add back the Dark. The reason I did this is because I'm stupid, and then I just attack for game. I also kind of wanted this boost to 3100 because reasons, and there you go. That's lethal. And the last replay I have for you is one up against Sento Kaiba. This time we get to go first as well, which is pretty nice. I do think going first with this deck is okay. I would say that going second is preferred, but honestly, sometimes it just doesn't matter. This one, you can see that I am playing Vajra. This is an older build where I was playing Vajra and, what is it? Batteryman Solar, as well as you can see that I have Trishula in my extra deck. So there's that, but all in all, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't say that this is the correct way. I don't actually like Vajra. I think it doesn't really save you all that much. It does save me here, but honestly, a Temperance would have done the exact same thing. So whatever. I guess it does allow you to go for Fiend Farewell, which allows us to get this Chaos Betrayer into the graveyard a little bit earlier, but again, it doesn't really matter. We end up top decking the Charge of the Light Brigade, which is huge, but then we get terrible, no good, very bad mills. Look at these mills. What did we mill? Terrible cards for us to mill. Anyway, it doesn't end up mattering because Raiden ended up milling a bunch of really good cards. We're going to go into this Vermilion Dragon Mech and activate our Dark in order to search a Hawk, as well as we summoned the duo earlier. We're going to pop one of their back row, and then we are going to Hawk bring back the Roar. Then the reason that we did that the way that we did was so that we could get duo boosted up to 3100, meaning if we were to attack in to the opponent, they wouldn't be able to just tag out and, you know, protect their monster and all of that. We'd still be able to punch over. Anyway, we're going to end the turn, but before doing that, we are going to get our card negated by their Ultimate Providence. And then we're just going to go for the Chaos Betrayer here, go into a rank 6, as well as banishing one of their Blue Eyes White Dragons. It doesn't really matter which one we banish, but we banished one of them. We're going to activate a couple of effects here. We're going to shuffle back a few cards. As you can see, that Batteryman Solar kind of not needed there. And we draw back into the Solar, so it doesn't end up mattering. But we are going to go for Bouncer here. And the reason for this is because Bouncer can just negate the Maiden, and we can just attack in for game right here. So we're just going to negate the attack in for 2700, as well as burning for 500, and then attack in for lethal with either of our 2 other monsters, and bada bing, bada boom, that is game. So, real quick, we're back with the deck, and I just want to say that Thunder Dragons are still really solid, and I would highly suggest playing them or picking them up. They're incredibly versatile. They are incredibly resilient, especially when it comes to ban lists as well. Konami just can't seem to kill off this deck. But I think it's more so due to the fact that the meta itself is rather weak as well. While Thunder Dragons are definitely weaker than they were previously, there aren't really a lot of decks that are super powerful. Even Harpies you can definitely play through. A lot of the other decks, I would say that this has the highest highs, but it doesn't really anymore. I would say something like Dark Lords probably has a higher high. It's just its consistency is lower than that of Thunder Dragons. You could also say something like I don't know, there's a myriad of decks. Something like Destiny Heroes can be pretty good in certain matchups. Melodious is really good. But Thunder Dragons has basically answers to everything. It has removal in the form of, you know, a return to the hand. It has several non-targeting destruction effects. It has really big monsters in the duo and the odd eyes. It has hand traps to protect itself. It has consistency with things like Thunder Dragon as well as Hawk in order to constantly get more advantage. You have a myriad of answers with Malevolent Sin, with Heliopoli, with Bouncer. Like, basically going first, going second, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a pretty decent time. You're really, really good on the crackback. So going first, you set up a small board, and then basically survive their turn 2 onslaught, and then turn 3 you're able to really turn it on and get a whole bunch of advantage. As you saw multiple times, we ended up going first, normal summoning something like Raiden and summoning the Dark, and then just sitting on that. Well, that's not a great board. It still was able to keep us alive and grant us additional advantage. As you can see, Raiden at the end phase, Mills cards, which is really good for the deck. There's just so much that is going for the deck and that keeps doing well for the deck. For example, we still have access to Charge of the Light Brigade, which is one of the best spells for this deck in particular. We also have Melody of the Awakening Dragon, which is insane. It allows you to basically search out Levianeer. So there you go. All in all, the deck is still really solid, especially now with the metagame weakened. It's still good. It's still fun. I would still suggest playing it. Anyway, that's going to be it. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.